Tonight on Access TV, it's Gotham Comedy Live. Get ready to laugh with Adam Newman, Chris Lambert, Robert Dean, Alicia Cooper. This week's host, Harry Anderson. Gotham Comedy Live, all happening right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Harry Anderson.
Welcome to Gotham Comedy Live. Want to see me pull a rabbit out of my hat? There's a little hair. Ha! And there's time for one more. If I seem a little excited, a little nervous tonight, there's a reason for that. Last time I had a job like this was 30 years ago when I hosted Saturday Night Live, which is a show very much like this, except, of course, it's on a network people have actually heard of. Now, when I was asked to host, I had already been a guest on the show 7 or 8 times, so I was nervous then because I figured I'd used all my A material and most of my B material in my guest spots, and I really wanted to do a good job as host, especially in that all-important opening monologue. You know, when Don Pardo, bless his heart, he said, Harry Anderson, that's a big fucking deal. To a guy who saw his first SNL after passing his hat all day in Jackson Square. So I really wanted to do something special, and I think I came up with something pretty cool. It went like this, Harry Anderson, and then I came out, and I had on a hand-painted tie and a fedora. The only things I own that still fit. And I said how glad I was to be hosting the show and be in New York and all. And then I introduced my new best friend, who was a cute little guinea pig named Skippy. And then Skippy, he whispered to me. He said that he was very glad to be on the show and that he was all ready to do his tricks. But see, he didn't really whisper. I just made that shit up. So the fix was in right from the start. So I put Skippy down on a stool, and I'm going to try to get him to sit up, but he doesn't. He just, roll over. That's all guinea pigs do. They just sit at their own birthday party. That's one of the things I kind of hate about magic. It's this animal business, because if you're not ready to produce a tiger who's perfectly willing to rip your fucking throat out, then you're kind of stuck with the pink eyes, the rabbits, the doves, and the guinea pigs, animals that you suspect have body parasites that could beat them at Scrabble, Doesn't seem right. So Skippy is not really coming to task, so I decided to cut my losses, go right to the big finish. I bring out a little hoop, and I douse it with lighter fluid, which I set ablaze. Now, I learned a lot about lighter fluid that night, because when you set it ablaze, it gets really fucking hot. So I'm trying to get Skippy to jump through the hoop, and he's, he won't, and I'm blistering, so I throw down the hoop, and now I'm kind of tiffed. And I pick up Skippy, and I say, what's the problem? And he whispers to me that he can't work with a Caucasian drummer. For some reason, that ticked me off. And I start yelling at Skippy, and he starts yelling at me, and it's getting kind of nasty. And then I get fed up with the whole deal, and I take Skippy, and I cram him into my mouth, and I eat him. No kidding, live, coast to coast. I cram that little fucking mouth. And I'm chomping on him, and he's squealing and trying to get out, and I just push him back in, and I'm chewing, and then I get to deliver the best line ever. I get to say, "Live from New York, a Friday night." Oh, no, come on. I didn't eat him. It was a trick, okay? I had to switch him for a piece of sponge cake with a squeaker in it. It was a trick, but it looked like I ate a guinea pig. It sure as hell looked like I ate a guinea pig. It looked so much like I had eaten a guinea pig that the phone started ringing off the hook. At 30 Rock, it was like some scene from a Preston Sturges movie where the operators are, at the... They're all named Mabel, you know. I mean, thousands of people started calling in, and they were pissed off because they thought they just saw some smartass eat a live guinea pig. So, you know, this is Saturday Night Live, keep in mind. I mean, they've done some strange stuff on this show. Yeah, but apparently you can let Julia Child bleed to death for a good laugh, but don't go munching on the vermin. So these animal lovers who apparently hate people are calling and screaming their heads off. But I'm unaware of this because I'm the host. So I'm still out there doing sketch comedy, you know, and hosting stuff. But when I get a little break, I come off and there's the producer, and he looks a little nervous about all these calls that they're getting. Keep in mind, this was not what you would call SNL's salad days. This period would later be known as the Piscopo years. And he's frankly worried. But I tell him, you know, because I think this is great. Because this is what a magician wants to, you know, get that kind of reaction. So I tell him to chill and everything will be okay. And I go off to do some more brilliant sketch comedy. And, but the calls keep coming in. They keep coming in. So when I come off stage the next time, there's a producer. And now he's got a little flop sweat thing going. And he asked me, please, could you just take the guinea pig out and show it's alive and that it was just a joke? But me, I say, no, I can't do that because I'm a magician. And I swore the official oath of secrecy, which was bullshit, but that's the thing about magic. It's all secrets, you know? Got to keep the secret. Don't tell the secret. Shh, it's a secret. I was in magic 20 years. I thought we were all gay. I had no idea, so I go off to do more hosting. And then, oh, here's what happens. We're now an hour into the show, and so Chicago, the next time zone, is seeing the monologue for the first time. And they're pissed off. This is fucking Chicago. These people will eat anything that will stand still long enough to put mustard on it, but they're pissed off at me. So now I go back, and the producer is, he's just sure we're both going to get sodomized, you know, when we leave the building. And he begs me, could I just go out and say something about Skippy? So I think about it for a moment, and I say, okay, Dick. His name was Dick, but by this point, I would have called him Dick if his name was Jerry by this point. So I go out, and after the next commercial break, the lights come on, and there I am, discovered, standing in one, as they say. And I say very calmly, I was asked to say something about the apparently tasteless travesty that opened the show. And all I can think to say, now this was the 80s, so this meant a lot more then. All I can think to say is, when it comes to nutrition, ounce for ounce, nothing beats Skippy. And you know, they never asked me back on SNL. Shit, it took Mark Cuban, 30 years to work up the nerve. But I'm here tonight and glad of it, and we will be right back.
Stay tuned for more laughs on Access TV, live from the Gotham Comedy Club in New York City. Adam Newman is taking the stage when we return.
Time here. You saw him on Comedy Central's Half Hour. Welcome, Adam Newman.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. It's awesome to be back in New York. Last week I had to fly from Boise, Idaho to Minneapolis, Minnesota, or as I call it, Boys to Min. All right, it's going to be a lot of stuff like that for the next few minutes. I hope you like those kinds of jokes. Shows have been going well. I did one last night. I thought I did okay. Afterwards, a girl came up to me and said, I thought you were very funny. I said, thank you. And then she said, I'm on so many pills right now. So, all right, it took 2 tonight. It took 2. Sometimes it takes 1. It took 2 with you guys. So that's okay. You know what I've been traveling around to comedy clubs. It's my favorite thing to do. What I like to do before I go to a new club is I like to read the Yelp reviews and see what maniacs are going to comedy clubs not having a good time. I love that. I'm fascinated by that. I went to a comedy club in Raleigh, North Carolina this year. Yeah, sure, I've heard of it too. And this is, it's good. This is the best Yelp review I've ever read for a comedy club, all right? It was, I slipped in the wet lobby and hit my head on a fern and everybody laughed at me. All right, that's good. Ferns are soft, by the way. Then I ordered the fish dinner and it gave me diarrhea, all right? Then the comedian made fun of me. I didn't like it. 1 star. That Yelp review's funnier than any comedy show I've ever been to. It really is. I love comedy. I hope you guys have a good time tonight. I would rather follow that guy around than see my favorite comedian. I really would. I don't know who your favorite comedian is. Sarah Silverman, Bill Burr, George Carlin could come back from the dead. I would rather follow that guy around while he slipped, hit his head on things, shit himself, and people made fun of him. That's a 5-star evening if you ask me. Let's see, I've been thinking about this a lot. I think sticking your finger up someone's butt has got to be more effective than the Heimlich maneuver. Would you guys agree with that? I can back it up. I can back it up. Has anyone ever given or received the Heimlich when you're choking? Has anybody ever have to give it or receive it? Did you? Did you have to give it or receive it? I have to give it. Give it. That's great. That's called a top. Now, we call that a top in the choking community. Who did you have to give it to? I don't give a shit what you do for a living. Who did you give the Heimlich to? And by the way, you don't give the Heimlich to drowning victims. It doesn't matter if you're a lifeguard. You're a terrible lifeguard if you're like, oh shit, he's drowning. That's not what you do. Who did you give the Heimlich to? This girl on the beach. All right, sexy. That sounds good. And what was she choking on? And don't say your dick. I've heard that one before. It was a hot dog? All right, so it was close. That's good. Oh, wiener, just not yours. Okay, thank you. Next time you see a girl choking on the beach, this is horrible advice. This is why I think the finger works better than the Heimlich, okay? When you're choking, you're gasping for air, you're trying to survive, you get something in your throat, add to that a stranger behind you thrusting at your belly. It's a very confusing time, right? Somebody runs up behind you and sticks their finger up your butt, your brain immediately changes to, we gotta get this thing out of my throat because we got bigger shit to deal with right now. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right, good. I'm worried that some of you like that too much. Okay. You seem very enthusiastic about it. If you like that a lot and think, I just want you to know that if you're going to try the finger instead of the Heimlich, you better hope it works, okay? You really better do. Okay, how about this? Any guys in here ever send a dick pic? Anybody ever done that before? All right, how about this? Any girls in here ever receive a dick pic? You're raising your hand. All right. Well, more girls than guys. That's interesting, isn't it? Isn't that interesting? It's always more girls receiving them than guys sending them. You know what that means? It means guys are sending them and not admitting to it. Or it means there's one guy sending a lot of dick pics. That's what that means. Here's what I'll say about it. If you've ever sent a dick pic, stop it, okay? Stop doing it. If you've never sent one, don't start now. Dick pics are done. Dick pics are so last year. This year, 2014, year of the scroto photo. That's what I say. I've been saying that the whole time. All right, we're on live TV. We can get dirty, right? Everybody into that? We can get a little dirty? All right, okay, good. Before I met my girlfriend, I always wanted to try online dating. This is the first online date I ever went on, okay? A girl messaged me. We met at a bar in her neighborhood. We got very drunk, and we went back to her apartment, and we hooked up, okay? So 1 for 1 on the online dating. I was very excited about that. We were hooking up for a very long time, which is not me bragging. We drank so much that things were working, but they were, like, never going to finish working, right? We've all been there where things are working at, like, 60%, and they're just going to keep working at 60% until somebody falls asleep, right? And as a guy, you hope it's you that falls asleep, because if it's the girl, there's the whole thing, like, am I allowed to keep doing this? I don't know. 100% consensual when we started. Now that you're sleeping, I feel like maybe I'm not allowed to be doing this anymore. That's all I'm saying. No one fell asleep. We were going at it for kind of a long time until she threw up, all right? It's a true story. She threw up on my penis, is where she did it, okay? Have you ever done that before? Has she? She threw up on it. She went to the bathroom to go clean up, threw me a hand towel, which was not enough, which is me bragging a little. And then she came back and finished the job. There you go. I started it. I know I got that started. But here's why you're clapping, because what a trooper, right? What a trooper. You know how bad you feel when you throw up? When I throw up, all I want is ginger ale in fetal position. The last thing I want to do after I throw up is put a dick back in my mouth, right? If you eat half a pizza and throw up, the last thing you want is the other half of that pizza. This girl came back and ate the whole other half of that pizza. Here's the thing, I need the guys on my side for this or it gets very uncomfortable. When you are a guy and you first hear gagging, it's a wonderful feeling, right? That's a fantasy for guys. That's what girls are doing in porn, right? Girls in porn are gagging on cocks and stuff. And you're like, oh man, one day I want a girl to gag on me. And now it's happening in real life. And you're like, yeah. Well, not in the moment. Not in the moment. You're not like, woo. But you're excited about it. And you're excited until you're covered in like 6 already drank vodka cranberry juices on your belly. Then it's not so great anymore. But at first, before you realize what happened and the lights are out, it's just like this warm gush. And you're like, oh, I like that. No one's ever done that before. That feels pretty good. Is that new? Turn the lights on, you realize what happened, you immediately change to, oh no, I hope I'm not into that. That's a hard thing to get, that's a hard fetish to have. That's a hard thing to ask a girl to do again on purpose. You can find it if that's what you're looking for, right? That's what Craigslist was invented for. You can find it, but you're gonna sacrifice something. Like, you're not gonna find a pretty girl who's into that. You're gonna find like a troll girl. Troll girls are short, and they have hair that goes like this. And a jewel for a belly button. Troll girl, the 90s thing. Remember, you're gonna have to introduce her to your friends and family for the rest of your life. This is my girlfriend. I know she's ugly, but she likes throwing up on my cock, and that's what I'm into, Dad. Happy Thanksgiving. It's a Thanksgiving joke. That's all it is. All right, here's the thing about that joke story, okay? My parents come see me do stand-up a lot. They're very supportive. When my parents come to see me do stand-up, I don't do that joke, okay? That's not a joke you do in front of Mom and Dad, right? When I did my Comedy Central special. Here's the thing, when you do a special, you don't get to show up and just do whatever you want. You have to get your jokes approved, and that's what you do for the taping, right? I don't know how that joke got approved by Comedy Central. I have no idea. Thank you, Comedy Central. That got approved to do, no, you don't have to. They got approved to do on TV. And my parents were gonna come see the special, so I knew I was gonna have to do that joke in front of my mom and my dad, right? So my parents flew out to Boston. I did the joke for the special. It went pretty well, a little better than tonight. And then afterwards, I went backstage where my parents were. They're waiting for me. My mom is talking to some friends. My dad is there, and he goes, great job, congratulations. And I go, thanks, but it was really weird for me to do that throw-up story in front of you. It was kind of uncomfortable for me. And my dad just goes, oh, that's happened to me before. Don't tell your mother. Biggest backfire I've ever had in comedy. Thank you guys very much. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Stay tuned for more laughs on Access TV, live from the Gotham Comedy Club in New York City. Chris Lambert is taking the stage when we return. Welcome back to the Access TV presentation of Gotham Comedy Live. More laughs happening right now.
Oh, that is so insincere. Quick announcement, with the owner of the white Toyota XUI 273, move your car. Apparently it's not blocking anything, it's just a piece of shit, and it's making the place look less swank. Okay, here, you may know his podcast, The Mundane Festival. Let's enjoy Chris Lambert.
Yeah. Thanks so much, everybody. Thank you. All right. Okay, thank you. I'm getting to the point where it's hard for me to watch the news. It's not only is it just depressing the way people treat each other, it's horrible. I don't trust the people that are giving me the news. Like there's an anchor that used to be on my favorite news channel that did this segment every day, and he would sound exactly like this. He would say, "This is Eyewitness News. Proud to support the Protect Our Children campaign. Have you seen Cynthia?" And when I hear that, I feel like he knows where Cynthia is. I feel like Cynthia's in his basement, and they need to check it out. They need to get a search warrant, go down there, and bring Cynthia home, because that's where she is. I'm working on losing weight. It's been a struggle. I call it my fat boy struggle. And like, I don't like it. You know you need to lose weight when you start to dream in fatness. Like, I dream like a fat person. You know, one night I fell asleep on my couch and I was watching this detective show. And I had this lucid dream that I was a detective and there was this missing kid. And the last place they saw this kid was at a pizza place. And I go in there all detective like I'm this detective. I have on a suit from Men's Warehouse, and I have on a $40 tie, and I walk in there. I said, "Hey, where did you last see the boy?" The owner says, "Oh, he was hanging out here a few hours ago. He was trying our specialty pizza. You want to try some?" And I said, "Sure. For detective purposes, I will try this pizza." And I taste this pizza, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is amazing. This cheese, this crust, is this like a cornbread crust? Are you serious? You know, Keebler used to make cornbread crackers, and they were so good. You could eat them with cheese, with meat. They tasted great by themselves. They discontinued those crackers, and I wrote them, and they never wrote back to me. So now I don't eat any of their products at all. And I woke myself up out of this dream and said to myself, "You fat asshole, there's a missing child. There's a missing white child. You need to save him and be the magical Negro you're supposed to be. You gotta go back to sleep. There's more work to do." You guys know what a magical Negro is? For those of you that don't, I'll explain it to you. A magical Negro is a black character in a movie that helps a white character reach their fullest potential. And they don't want anything in return. They will help you with your golf swing. They'll cure your urinary tract infection. And then they just disappear into the night like a forgotten jazz legend. That's just what happens. Yeah. It's basically Morgan Freeman in every movie he's ever been in. That's what a magical Negro is. So I have this theory about magical Negroes. Magical Negroes cannot help other black characters in the movie because it would ruin everything. It would be like Marty McFly in Back to the Future going back in time, accidentally hooking up with his mom by accident. It would be bad. That would be tragic. And I saw this theory take place in this movie called Dolphin Tale. Fuck you guys for judging me. It was a Friday night. This girl that I liked didn't text me back. There was no ice cream, so now you get this story. Dolphin Tale is a movie about a dolphin that loses its tail in an accident, and Morgan Freeman gives it a new one. Spoiler alert, that's what happened. It's not about the ending, it's about the journey. It's not really spoiling anything. There's a scene in the movie where people start finding out about this tailless dolphin, and they come from miles around to see this tailless dolphin at this aquarium. There's one character in particular that goes to see this dolphin. It's a little black girl. And this little black girl is in a wheelchair because she's missing a leg. And she sees this dolphin, this tailless dolphin swimming around in this aquarium, and she looks at it and she says, "Mommy, that dolphin is just like me." And I'm looking at this movie with tears in my eyes. And I say to the TV, I say, "No, that dolphin is not like you, because that dolphin's gonna get help." And it just broke my heart. Like, it hurt me so bad. Like, I know this movie is not called Black Girl Leg, but Morgan Freeman could have helped her out. He could have helped. He could have did something. I love going to the movies. Movies are my favorite pastime, but lately it's just been getting too ridiculous. It's more of a chore. A movie ticket should not cost more than your copay when you go to the doctor. Right, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah. And then people talk during the movie. I don't like when people talk in the theater. They say black people talk in the movies. We do, but I mean, like, nobody says anything about white people. You guys will talk before the movie and ruin everything because you guys talk about heavy shit before the movie. One time, I went to go see Iron Man 3. I'm sitting behind these two white women. Their kids go to get snacks. One of them says to the other, she says, "Oh, you know, I ran into Meredith the other day at Panera Bread, and I didn't want to talk to her because she didn't come to book club, and it was her turn to bring the dessert. And I said, you know what? Elaine, get over yourself. You're in therapy. Just go talk to her." So I did. And I went over to her and I said, "Hey, what's going on?" And she said, "Their family dog died." Yeah, Buster. He had a brain tumor and they had to put him to sleep. And they've been trying to explain to their son, Caleb. They've been trying to explain to him that this dog is dead. And you see, Caleb's 7 and he's autistic. So I don't ever think he's gonna understand that this dog is dead. How the fuck am I supposed to watch Iron Man 3? When I'm thinking about this special needs kid and his dead dog. The best friend that this kid is ever gonna have is dead, and I'm supposed to just act like I didn't hear that shit? Robert Downey Jr. flying around in some CGI costume, that shit is fake. Caleb is real. And I wanna know about him. I'm Chris Lambert, thanks everybody. Thank you.
Stay tuned for more laughs on Access TV, live from the Gotham Comedy Club in New York City. Robert Dean is taking the stage when we return.
This is fun, huh? This is fun. And you think about it, you don't even have to take a shower afterwards. This is real fun. Our next guest, you probably saw most recently on News Channel 12. I'm sure there's a story behind that. Please welcome Robert Dean.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hello, Gotham Comedy Club. Hello, stoned teenagers who lost the remote. It's good to be here. It's a little weird being on TV right now because I am pretty self-conscious right now about how I look. Because the other day, I made the mistake of trying to create myself in a video game. It's a mistake. Because according to this video game, my hairstyle can only be described as female politician. Yeah, you see? Which is insulting to me, because I also cut my own hair, if you couldn't imagine. Sir, do you also? Sorry, that was mean. I cut my own hair for one reason, and that reason is I don't like small talking with the barber. So I decided to cut that out of my life. Because to me, there is nothing worse than small talking about the weather while making eye contact with yourself in the mirror. I hate it. I hate sitting there still just being like, yes, it was very warm out today. Before we know it, winter will be back. I don't like that. Don't get me wrong, though, I do like small talking about the weather, so much so I would never get a job at the Weather Channel, because I have no idea how you'd small talk with your coworkers at the Weather Channel. I imagine you get on the elevator with some guy, you're like, hey, nice day out. He'd be like, leave it in the office! As you can probably tell at this point in my set, I am a man who owns a bathrobe. You all were thinking that, yeah. I didn't buy it. I stole the bathrobe from a hotel I was staying at, and then that hotel immediately charged me $150 for the missing bathrobe. So now a used hotel bathrobe is the most expensive item of clothing I own. And every day I have to look at it and go, is today the day? Today the day I wear it outside? and let the whole world know I'm the bathrobe guy. I'm not ready to be the bathrobe guy. I don't do enough drugs to be the bathrobe guy. I am trying, don't get me wrong. This is true. Last month, I just did acid for the first time, and boy, are my arms... Everyone here is on acid, apparently. I have to finish that joke. Last month, I just did acid for the first time, and boy, are my arms still snakes. See, it doesn't... I'll take it. That is my acid joke I wrote on acid. I wanted to get it out. It's important to me. Last month, I went to my very first Jewish wedding. I was the guy in a suit and a bathrobe. Have you all been to Jewish weddings? Yeah? I decided during the reception that I am going to convert to Judaism. Because I want a chair ride. Why is that fair? That only Jewish people getting married get hoisted up in a chair and bounced around. I want that. But as a non-Jewish single man, the only chance I'll ever get lifted up in a chair is if I strap myself to a chair and refuse to leave this IKEA. Security comes, carries me out. I start singing, Hava, IKEA, Hava. I don't think I'm gonna get married. I'm very happily single right now. Here's the trick. Yeah, give it up. That's right, what I just said 5 seconds ago. I'm very happily single, I'll tell you, because to me, the trick is taking yourself out on dates. Here's something I've learned recently. When you're the only person sitting at a Benihana hibachi table, the chef still puts on the entire show. Then he expects you to catch all the shrimp in your mouth. Which reminded me, when I was 11 years old, I once went to hibachi with my 80-year-old grandmother. And for some reason, that hibachi chef still thought that she could catch shrimp in her mouth. And after 6 pieces of hot, oily shrimp hitting my grandmother, I had to say something. I'm 11, and I yell out, "Hey! Stop throwing shrimp at my grandmother!" Which I was convinced would have been the best thing I've ever heard yelled out at a Japanese restaurant. But I was wrong, because when I was having hibachi alone, this is true, there was a couple behind me having sushi for the first time. And I know that because the guy yelled out, "I've never had avocado before." Which, yes, is ridiculous. So I turn and look as he took his fork and plunged it into the wasabi. Then he ate an entire forkful of wasabi. At which point he yelled out, "Wow, avocado's spicy!" Only way I can imagine that being better if he went, "Wow, avocado tastes like wasabi." Somehow knew. I wanted to follow this guy around for the rest of his life, just to see his next avocado experience. I spend a lot of time at carnivals. Any carnival I see, I go to that carnival. This summer, I was at a carnival, and there was an Italian food cart, and I was gonna get Zeppelis, but I couldn't, because on the food cart, I'm not making this up, there's a handwritten piece of loose leaf paper that simply read, "We don't have Zeppelis. The Zeppeli guy died." And I was looking at that sign. I was like, that sign could just say, "We don't have Zeppelis." Or like, "Help wanted, Zeppeli guy." Or like, "It's with a heavy heart we have to announce our beloved Zeppeli chef recently passed away. Our only regret is never learning his name. Rest in peace, the Zeppeli guy." But ever since I saw it, I've been so afraid of my own legacy. Like, what if I die and comedy clubs around America just put handwritten pieces of loose leaf papers on their door that simply read, "We don't have that Zeppeli guy joke. The Zeppeli guy joke guy died." I gotta get out of here. I want to tell you about, I think I'm pretty funny on stage, but I think I'm the funniest after sex. Anyone else? Anyone else think they're hilarious at cuddling? No? I am. I know this because recently I had sex with a girl, and let's just say I apologized immediately. And then we're lying there not saying anything. She gets up and starts getting redressed. And she goes, "Where are my socks?" And without hesitation, I went, "I knocked them off you." Right? I was so proud I came again. All right, my name is Sweatshirt. Thank you all so very much.
Stay tuned for more laughs on Access TV, live from the Gotham Comedy Club in New York City. Alicia Cooper is taking the stage when we return. Welcome back to the Access TV presentation of Gotham Comedy Live. More laughs happening right now.
All right, let's bring this home in a big way. You saw her on Last Comic Standing and America's Got Talent. Welcome, Alicia Cooper.
Woo! Give it up for everybody y'all saw so far, especially Harry. Harry thought I was Marsha Warfield. We don't all look alike. How y'all doing? This is amazing. I love New York City. I love everything about it. Have y'all been on YouTube and saw that ALS challenge for Lou Gehrig's disease? Have y'all checked that out? Yeah. Oh, that is amazing. They've raised over $100 million. But I didn't know anybody personally that had ALS, so I started a challenge for people who had something I know about. Hemorrhoids. We doing the wedgie challenge. We yanking people's drawers up over their head like suspenders and hanging them on fences. We're like, #hemorrhoids. And if y'all not laughing about that, it's because you probably got hemorrhoids and your ass is hurting. That is a funny joke. On the way over, I was listening to the music. I pay attention to the lyrics, because the lyrics rarely match what's going on in the artist's life. I'm on the way over, I'm listening to Beyonce and Jay-Z. They have a song called On the Run. They said, "I don't care if we on the run, just as long as I'm next to you." I was like, you was next to him in the elevator when your sister was whooping his ass. And you ain't do a damn thing to help. So I turned the channel, Chris Brown. These hoes ain't loyal. First of all, hoes ain't supposed to be loyal. That's why they hoes. How you gonna put food on the table being a loyal hoe? How you gonna pay your bills with one client? That don't make no sense to me. Then I turned the channel, they said R. Kelly was supposed to be a pedophile, right? So I said, I'm gonna pay attention to the lyrics, because if that's the case, it will come out in the lyrics. Turn the channel, I hear a song by him that says, "My mind's telling me no." I'm like, his mind is telling him no because she's 12. Then he was in court acting like he didn't know the girl was underage, but he had to know because when she walked in the courtroom, her shoes lit up. You gotta pay attention. It is stressful out here. We got all kinds of stuff happening, Ebola and all kinds of stuff. It is just a stressful time right now. And I gotta tell y'all, I can't wait for the president to be white again. This is too much stress. Whew, good God Almighty. I'm on Facebook arguing with tea partiers, cussing everybody out all day. I got high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, all in the last 6 years since the president been black. They can take this stuff back. They can call Hillary all kinds of dykes in pantsuits. I'm gonna be like, well, maybe she is a dyke in a pantsuit. I am exhausted. Hillary will not need binders full of women if she's a dyke. She will have their numbers in her cell phone. I am exhausted. Y'all know the security got real lax under a black president. People running across the lawn like it's the Hunger Games. People on the elevator with Barack, the sign language man don't know sign language in South Africa. This don't make no damn sense. How the hell does Cat Williams have better security than the president? But y'all know the best thing about being black and having a black president is people can actually believe you know him. I haven't waited online at a table in a restaurant in 6 years. They're like, oh, the wait is an hour and a half, Miss Cooper. I'm like, what? Let me get Barack on the line. This is some bullshit. Like a table just opened. I'm like, I know it did. I know it did. Nobody would ever believe I knew GW. That's the point of this. Nobody would ever. It don't make no sense. People ask me if I have kids. Hell no, I don't have no damn kids. I just told y'all all the ailments I have. These kids are different nowadays. And they are spoiled as hell. They will unplug their granddaddy's oxygen tank to charge their cell phone. Like, let me get some of this juice, granddaddy. You don't need all of this. You done lived your life. I'm waiting on a text from Tina. You still alive when I'm done, granddaddy? I'll plug you back in. Stop crying. You're wasting oxygen. You're wasting oxygen. And people with bad kids always try to get you to watch them. Because they trying to get a break from these little motherfuckers. I ain't watching your badass kid. They sickly as hell. They got stuff we never had growing up. Peanut allergies. How's a peanut whooping your ass? See, I blame non-stick pans. When you see that silver part of the pan, you're supposed to throw that pan away. What do? We keep scrambling eggs right over that pot. We done fucked up the kids. We had cast iron skillets, them hard black skillets. It took 2 people to lift it up onto the stove. It doubled as a weapon. And we were never sick. And nobody cared about us as kids. We couldn't have, these kids nowadays got opinions. We couldn't have no damn opinion. They told us stay in a child's place. We couldn't even eat at the same table as adults. These kids got it made. I'm like, whoa, this is a whole new day. They are taking words out the dictionary so kids won't feel any pain. Do y'all know y'all can no longer say retard? That is my favorite fucking word. And that has been snatched from me. So I called my friend Gail. She's a psychologist. I said, Gail, do you know they snatched retard? She said, yeah. I said, well, what has it been replaced with? She said, developmentally delayed. I said, I don't have that kind of fucking time. Your ass is a retard. We didn't even have simple protections like seat belts. There was 3 of us standing up in the back of my Uncle Billy's pickup truck. We were rolling around like bowling pins. 2 of us could have fallen out the back. He wouldn't even slow down. Knee pads, our knees were scraped up by middle school. And if you had a helmet on when we were growing up, you were special. And you rode on the short bus. And your classroom didn't have windows. And they have something called Everybody Gets a Trophy. How the hell does everybody get a trophy when everybody didn't win? That's unfair to the winning team. You didn't win, you're supposed to take your little losing ass over in the corner, cry about it, figure out how to come back next year, whip ass and get a trophy you actually earned. And if you do get a trophy you didn't earn, it should have a big L on it for loser. Because you didn't friggin' win. Nobody cared about us growing up. We were tougher back then because we had to do unimaginable things. We actually had to answer the telephone and didn't know who the fuck was on the other end. That would be considered child abuse nowadays. You can't spank your kid, roll your eyes at your kid too hard, and Child Protective Service is gonna be knocking at your door. Spanking, shoot, when we grew up, if you went to Catholic school, the nuns beat you, then the neighbors beat you, then your parents beat you because the nuns and the neighbors had to beat you. It took a village to beat your ass. Everything is changing at breakneck speed. Every time you turn on TV, a new gay athlete is flying out the closet. I love it. We've always had gay athletes, they just didn't admit it. I think the first gay athlete was Wilt Chamberlain. He wrote a book talking about he had sex with 10,000 women. Only a gay guy would make up some shit like that. How you have sex with 10,000 women and never need a hip replacement? We had Jason Collins of the Washington Wizards. He came out. That ain't really count because I Googled him and they said he averaged 1 point a season. He making gay athletes look real ragged. They're not even gonna let him come to the parade. But it did count when Michael Sam came out. This man came out before he signed his NFL contract. I was shocked. What I liked about him was that he didn't spend years wasting a woman's good egg, making years trying to pretend to be straight. We certainly appreciate that. My only issue is with the media, because the media runs wild with stories for ratings. They love the hero label. Every time a gay athlete came out, ooh, Jason Collins is a hero. Michael Sam is a hero. I'm looking at my TV like, well, what the hell did they do? Did they run out of a burning building with 3 infants in their arms and flames flying up the back of their neck? What did they do? Were they fighting for this country and got limbs blown the hell off? Then I realized they took a pump in the rump. I'm like, is that the new criteria for a hero? Because if that's the case, I deserve a purple fucking heart. My name's Alicia Cooper. You've been great.
Stay tuned for more laughs on Access TV, live from the Gotham Comedy Club in New York City.
You guys have been sensational. Once again, Adam Newman, Chris Lambert, Robert Dean, and Alicia Cooper. Y'all drive safe.